what up, people? It's your boy ThaLiveKing coming at you with a quick video. I just got done reading the NBA 2K gameplay blog. Well, I can talk about a lot of things that are in the blog. One of the main things that I want to talk about is the motion engine upgrade. Like, if they figure out how to balance out the spacing and the player movement and the footwork, which they talked about in the blog, like, to me that alone is a win, because I played a lot of NBA 2K19, and there's a lot of warping, there's a lot of unnecessary movements and sliding all over the court, and that alone hurts the overall gameplay. There's a lot of good stuff under the hood in NBA 2K with their offensive systems and the assignments and all that stuff, but a lot of it gets hurt because of the sliding in the game. So as soon as they introduced the blog, the first thing they mentioned was the motion engine upgrade. So they say proper work is a core foundation of basketball, and replicating that properly is vital to balancing the interplay between offense and defense. Without realistic movement, everything else falls apart. In NBA 2K18, we introduced a new motion engine that moved away from animation-driven systems of earlier 2K games. The improvements to feel and responsiveness were immediately apparent when we made that switch. Now, 2K18, to me, I thought the player movement was fine. The only thing that bothered me about that game was the clipping on the perimeter and the clipping pretty much all over the court. Players' faces would morph into each other's, and it looked really bad. And when 2K19 came out, I was just hoping that they would fix that and kind of keep the same gameplay in a sense. But to me, I think the gameplay in a sense got worse in 2K19. So, and it's rare that 2K has puts out two bad basketball games in a row. Usually they figure out what the issue is and then they fix it, so you kind of don't have the issue. Like, you still have the legacy issues, but you can actually enjoy the game. So usually they have like an off year, and then after the following year, they usually have a solid game. But to me, I thought 2K18 and 19 were bad games in terms of gameplay. But I've been playing a lot of 2K lately. I've been messing with the ratings and sliders, similar to what I used to do with NBA Live 09, because if you look at the systems, because Mike Wang worked on NBA Live 08 and 09, and he implemented all those, he implemented all those different systems and the expanded rating systems and stuff like that. And 2K, the way they have 2K is pretty much the same way when you look at the ratings and you look at the sliders and all that stuff. So I've been going in and I've been messing with a lot of the player movement sliders, player movement ratings, just to see if I can tighten up the game. And I don't know if you guys watch some of my videos that I've posted. I somewhat kind of restricted some of the sliding and stuff. Like, you still see it because that's not something sliders can fix. But the game kind of tightened up. Like, screens were hitting properly. You were able to get a, what do you call it? Like, say you were to hand off the ball, it wasn't stiff. You get the ball and you can go. Kind of like how NBA Live does it, because the way NBA Live does a lot of their player movement stuff, like, it's seamless. The only thing that's really holding Live back is the canned animation. And there's a lot of good stuff in both games. 2K has a lot more to offer, obviously, but my main issue with 2K was the player movement, and that's the first thing that they introduced in the blog. They stated that our motion team spent the last couple of years developing an upgraded motion engine with the aim of finding a happy medium, and thanks to their hard work, movement in this year's game has taken a huge leap forward. Some of the advances that you'll immediately see and feel when you pick up 2K20 are better foot planting, momentum modeling, and motion style variations. So momentum is another thing that when you have good foot planting and good balance within the overall gameplay, that is something that is vital when you're playing the actual game. So players have a much better sense of weight and plant their feet properly when cutting or exploding from a stand, which is crazy because that's something that we had issues with players even feeling explosive. In 2K, most players felt slow. They never really felt like athletes. It was more of, you have to run this play in order to get open shots and stuff like that. And I'm glad that you're able to, take advantage of, say you have a player like Westbrook, you're able to take advantage of his first quick step and blow past your defender and causing the defense to react. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I'm really going to test the hell out of this new motion system. Since live is pushed back, I'm going to have a lot of time to dig in and see what I can get from it. And thanks to the addition of motion styles, you'll quickly see the difference in between lumbering big versus a quick explosive guard. The motion team spent a lot of time researching and analyzing sprint speed and acceleration times of real NBA players. My boy D4 kept bombarding the devs with this all year. So they look like they took a lot of that feedback, and they're gonna implement it in NBA 2K20. This helped us tune our player speeds more accurately to more accurately depict the speed of the NBA game, especially in the open court. This research also led us to redesign how sprinting works. We really wanted sprinting to be a valuable resource and not something that everybody can automatically do everywhere they go. This year you'll notice a flashing yellow effect around the stamina bar when your energy level drops below a certain threshold. Once hit, you'll quickly ramp down the run speeds and get tired much faster. So it's important this year to pick and choose when you want to explode. Man, this is stuff that I've always been saying, like, basketball needs this kind of stuff in the game, because if you watch the NBA, the game it only slows down in the playoffs, and you should be able to sprint hard in the open court, and you should be able to cut and sprint hard off screens while you're off the ball and stuff like that, because you have to have the defense react to, say the faster you move in the half court, the more the defense is going to react to your movement. So this is something that I can't wait to get my hands on with 2K20. Like NHL was one of the first games to actually, do the switch, because last year they worked on gameplay, but the first thing that they worked on and the first thing that they started marketing was the new skating system. And with the new skating system, when you're turning around to do back skating and all that stuff, it was so seamless. And they had problems tuning it because sometimes it felt overpowered and sometimes it felt underwhelming. But they finally realized that these players have to skate and move and position themselves properly on the ice. So 2K has taken notes. We still have to see it in motion, but out of all the features that I've seen in this blog, this stands out the most. And another one that stands out the most is that you're able to customize your play calling. And that's something I wanted the NBA Live devs to put in with that little weapon wheel that they had. And 2K looks like they're implementing it in the game. You can create your own offensive series, right? You can put up to 8 plays in there. That stuff is the things that I work on and I use in these basketball games. So while you have your regular plays, it's good to see that you can have all your go-to plays, and you can have each go-to play for each of the starters. You can have maybe 2 for like your best players, or you can have some custom plays for your bench guys, like your 6-man and stuff like that. So this is stuff that I've always wanted in games, and that's stuff that I kept beating the drum with, because these games, they're too good to be safe. Like, they should not be safe. You should be able to go out there and play reckless, and you should be able to go out there and play fundamentally sound, right? So, because all these games should be, especially when you're playing online, it should be a clash of styles. Who can force their style of play onto whoever, did I even say that right? Like, who can implement their style of play within the game and succeed? Because in basketball, once you force a team to play your way, you control the whole game. And that's something that I've been wanting in basketball games for a long time. So I'm excited to put this to the test when 2K20 drops. Hopefully they give us some NBA stuff in the prelude or the demo, because I really want to test this out. And they also said that they fixed some of the AI in the game. Oh yeah, one other thing I forgot to mention, that you can do manual switching now with the CPU. Because in 2K19, if you were smart enough to switch to break the defensive scheme, and you knew that the player was gonna go, say, under the screen or over the screen, and you made that, and you decided that you're okay, I'm gonna take the shooter, the player would automatically leave the opposite player open, and he would be wide open for a three. He'd be wide open for a layup. So they implemented something like that to, let the CPU know that you got the ball, right? Everything used to be automatic. With the play call in 2K, a lot of the schemes are automatic. You have to really go in and manually switch everything in order to cancel those actions. So this is another thing that I like, what they added in the game. So it's actually going to make 2K a lot more strategic. And like I said, if the player movement is improved, like, all this stuff is going to make the game, it's going to take the game to another level. And they're the best game on the market, best basketball game on the market, and they look like they got even better. So, I'm excited, man. As a basketball fan first, like, this is, they even added the box and one scheme against Curry. So they got a lot of different stuff in the game that I'm excited to try out. And as a basketball fan, like, just seeing this stuff, it's like, man, I can't wait to dig in. But anyways, what are your thoughts on these new gameplay changes in NBA 2K19, NBA 2K20? Let me know down in the comment box, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.